as well as bring you in-depth, long-form conversations on anything from entertainment to features to scams. And this morning, scammers are using technology. They're getting really sophisticated to prey on your worst fears. Maybe that a loved one's in trouble and they need your help right now. Julie Henderson is the president of the North Carolina Bail Agents Association, has been seeing these so-called jail scams up close, and joins us now to help us recognize what's going on here so you're not left asking, where's the money? Julie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So walk us through one of these scams. What does the process typically look like?
So what you may have is a loved one that's incarcerated in North Carolina, and then you will get a phone call from someone who is pressuring you to either put up money directly over the phone, through Bitcoin, through suspicious apps, through potentially gift cards. And that is obviously a scam. And unfortunately, the elderly and those that are usually preyed upon are getting hit hard.
Yeah, they've gotten really bold and even approaching families outside of a bonds office. How is that possible?
So what we've had is my own office specifically and several other agents throughout the state of North Carolina. You have people who know the system well enough, and maybe that's because they've been through the process or they've researched a little bit, unfortunately. They're meeting folks in parking lots, claiming that they are actually a bail agent for that office, taking funds and giving dummy receipts.
Okay, so that's a red flag. If you get someone, if someone approaches you, then in this case, what should they do?
They should first, if there's any doubt whatsoever, you should always contact the facility where that loved one is incarcerated. Let's ensure that they are there first and foremost, and they're actually incarcerated. Let's make sure that there is no extra fees or things that they're proclaiming over the phone. And let's ensure that you also use a licensed bail bondsman, which can be found online. A simple Google search will take you to the North Carolina Judicial page, where you will find a list of all licensed bail bondsmen. Licensed bondsmen should also have a license issued to them by the North Carolina Department of Insurance.
Okay, so if it's a phone call case, how is AI playing a role now, trying to clone someone's voice, and how do you tell the difference?
I think that there are some remedies for that. You can have a safe word with your family that you would use or give across the phone line if you are ever in an emergency situation or any type of scam. Scams are not just pinned down to bail scams. So if someone's ever contacting a family member for money for them, they should have a password, if you will. But AI is coming into play just like it is into every type of scam. They could clone that voice or use something very similar and then prey on a loved one's family.
And because this is such an emotional scam, they tug on your fears and panic sets in. How does one think clearly in that moment?
I think you have to take a step back. You have to just verify the information that you are getting on that phone call. You must do it in almost every circumstance that we're involved in these days, but specifically when somebody's pressuring you, and they will pressure you. Hey, you've got to give us this money or they're not going to be released, or they're going to be sent to another facility, or they're not going to be able to contact you. They are very good about putting the pressure on. No bail agent should ever put that much pressure on you. So you can always stop, back up, take a breath, and contact that facility to ensure that this is true, that this is factual.
Wow, it's amazing what they're able to get away with, like a lot of money, like you said, Bitcoin, gift cards, what have you. If you're in the middle of, say, a transaction or a process and you realize you're getting scammed, or even the aftermath of having been scammed, what does one do?
One should immediately contact law enforcement in the jurisdiction that they are in, whether that be the police department, whether they're in the city limits, or the sheriff's department if they're in the county. They can also contact the North Carolina Department of Insurance. They are investigating and following up on these scams. And then also you could go as far as to report this to the Attorney General's office. They could, in fact, actually investigate these, but they haven't had any specific or direct complaints to their office as of yet. The Department of Insurance has, and I know that the Sheriff's Departments have as well.
All right, Julie, anything else that folks should know before, they become a victim, or they just want to prevent becoming a victim?
Yeah, I just want folks to take a breath, take a minute, just like we talked about before. Verify the information, and please do not send money over the phone to anyone if you are not certain whom you are dealing with.
All right, Julie Henderson, president of the North Carolina Bail Agents Association. Good information. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you, ma'am.